I'm on. Hi, my name is John Bumgarner, sometimes known as Sandy Bumgarner around. That was quick, wasn't it?
That's the end of the guy before you.
Oh, all right.
Or a IQ test failure on the part of the program chair.
Okay, anyway, I've been around in this community for a while. Most of you, or some of you, know me. I participated in several projects and was also with these two shady characters here at Apple for a while in the open firmware group. But I came to talk about the thing that just won't die, that is the Canon Cat type stuff. This computer here is not a Canon Cat. This is the prototype, the Swyft, and it's even rarer. There were only 100 or so made with hard tooling, and this is one of the ones that still works. Like Steve Jobs envisioned, it has no on-off switch. So it comes up in the editor as it is, and I propose to have it running so you guys can play with it off and on. I just wanted to point out the fact that it does work, and it really runs the information appliance, if you will, algorithm. The other things that we've been working on, there's a Google group for Canon Cats. Oh, I won't need anywhere near that kind. We'll get out early for lunch. The group has worked on things such as resurrecting cats, trading cat information, speculating on who owns the intellectual property for Canon Cats, and who owns the intellectual property for information appliance stuff. Now, of course, most of you know that Jeff Raskin is dead, but I'm pretty good friends with the people that have most to do with it. For instance, in particular, Linda Blum, Jeff's widow. And so the intellectual property for information appliance stuff is probably available for the asking in that sense. Canon owns the intellectual property for the Canon Cat per se, but I have no idea how aggressive they might be if anybody was ever interested. So whatever the case may be, we're working on trying to get this algorithm, this way of processing data into a usable form for those of you that may know and love it. For those of you that have never heard of the darn thing, this is the world's best text editor. It is much faster than a mouse for doing text editing. It is, in the Canon Cat implementation, a completely seamless text editor, database manager, spreadsheet, and communications. And it's not integrated software. It's software that is undifferentiated. So I don't want to proselytize about the advantages of it beyond that, but it ought to be enough to tickle your interest, as it were. So I have a working example here. I actually own a cat or two that could probably be resurrected. One works fine. That's mine. And I have several spare parts machines, so if anybody's interested in fiddling around with that aspect of it too. I have some spare parts machines for the Swyft as well. But we are working on an earlier product called the SwyftCard and SwiftWare, which ran on an Apple IIe. The SwyftCard is shortly going to be made available as probably a set of Gerber files, so you can go ahead and roll your own, including all of the ROM-based code and the PAL equations, so that you can make your own SwyftCard if you so desire. That brings about 90% of what's in here to anybody that owns an Apple IIe. But if you happen to be slightly shy of Apple IIes, there is a friend of mine and I who are fiddling around with making an entire Apple IIe in a little box, okay, along with the Swyft code that's in it. using an ARM-based processor. I don't know if anybody of you knows a company called And a Hammer. It's Charlie Springer's company up in Washington. He makes ARM-based cards that you can buy with a wide variety of features and several different levels of complexity. So Charlie, if anybody is really interested in working on the project, the Apple IIe cloning software, I believe, is freely available on the internet in C form. I'm not a C programmer myself. I'm a fourth programmer and proud of it. And if somebody wants to help, though, blow the thing into one of Charlie's ARM-based machines, and he'll be happy to give you one of those guys and the method to do it. So you can get a hold of me anywhere. Practically, Google me on the internet and you'll find me. So there is still some movement afoot to get this text editor, this environment, this wonderful system that is completely seductive. If you ever used it, you'll be so disappointed with other methods of processing text. It's amazing. And that's about our progress to this point. We have Swyft cards, we have a few Swifts, one here, one or two out in the world at work, I know. And we have a few cats that you see showing up every now and then on eBay. And aside from that, we have the Google group, and we'd really like to move it into something that you could actually use. Charlie's machines will run a flat panel and take a USB keyboard, so the peripherals are pretty simple to do. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Just a comment. There's a book which Jeff Raskin has written called The Humane Interface, which goes through and discusses all of the design concepts that go into that.
Right.
Plus some more that he's come up with since. I have a copy of the book. It is excellent. I strongly recommend it. Also, for a while, I don't know if it's still around, but there was an attempt by him and his family to resurrect it in a more modern, contemporary environment called the Humane Environment, which was an implementation in Python. Originally was for Mac. I don't know what happened to it since then. But
Yeah, well, there's also Archie and a few other things that he was working on before he died.
did he work for Sony at one point?
No, not as far as I know. I knew Jeff for quite a while, so don't think so. Yes, sir.
I believe Raskin's papers are all in the Stanford Library, all donated.
I'm not sure where the library, yeah, the boxes. I could ask Linda.
There
Okay.
was one of our colleagues, was it Peter Goodnight?
I don't
Somebody
think so.
like him, a couple of fourth days ago, told about his adventure in the archives and tracing through the actual guts and innards and
Yeah.
workings of the Canon cat.
Well, the Canon CAD guts and workings, we have nearly all the documentation for the thing right here is available through the Google group. Okay, Canon CAD Google group. So if you're interested in cat stuff, you know, and you want to go into obscure logic chips and so on, you can go right ahead. But I think the thing to do is to move it up into a modern platform. There's not much hope in that. And then, you know, Jeff's book describes a lot of what went on, but of course, what actually went on in information appliance is now locked in the heads of reducing number of people. So, but Linda Blum would be the place to start for real official stuff. I just worked there, you know, for about 7 or 8 years. So, okay, that's it. That's all I've got. And if nobody has any more questions, let's eat. Oh, you notice, by the way, the Steve Jobs type stuff. No PowerPoint projection, no on-off switch. I love it.